Hello and welcome back to Guru Beauty. Today I am reviewing a new drugstore foundation for you. This one is from Maybelline and it's part of their Superstay line. Superstay obviously meant to be a very long lasting line of products, and this is their Superstay Better Skin Flawless Finish Foundation. This has come out probably in the last month here in Australia. Retails, at least at Priceline, for $21.95. Of course, you will find Maybelline on sale all over the place. So today I'm going to share with you my thoughts on this foundation. I will, of course, as always, show it to you going on so that you can get a feel for the texture, the coverage, how hard you have to work to get it looking nice, and then also how it looks throughout the day. So if you want to hear a little bit more about the Superstay Better Skin Flawless Finish Foundation from Maybelline, keep on watching. So the new Superstay Better Skin Foundation from Maybelline comes in a glass bottle. You are getting the standard 30 mils of product in this bottle. You're getting a plastic pop-on, pop-off lid with a handy pump. And the pump dispenses a modest amount of foundation. So I would usually take 2 pumps to apply 1 layer. On the bottle, it says it's an energizing vitamin formula. It says it evens skin tone instantly and it gives you better looking skin in 3 weeks. It does claim to have SPF 14 and it does claim to be for normal skin. I have matched myself in store to the shade 030 Sand, but there are 8 shades available at Priceline. I'll just read you a little bit more from the back of the bottle. It does say that not only does it cover flawlessly for a natural looking even skin tone, but also after 3 weeks it gives you better looking skin that looks clearer and healthier as if renewed, and that's based on a self-assessment of over 100 women who use the product daily for 3 weeks. I've used this product almost daily for 3 weeks and my skin is looking fine. I haven't noticed anything dramatic. I don't know. I don't really go for, I think it's jumping on the BB wagon, so that anyone who's sort of interested in makeup products that give you some therapeutic benefits to your skin, that they might try this instead of a BB cream. But I just want a foundation to be a foundation. I'm happy to leave the skincare to my skincare. So I'm not going to testify today to the better skin claims of this foundation. I will just tell you how it performs as a foundation. That's about it. The top ingredient is water, followed by dimethicone, isododecane, polypropyl silsesquioxane, C30 to 45, silica, glycerin. I'm not going to read more ingredients, but I'm just scanning down here just to look for anything of note. So it looks like it is oil-free, paraben-free, alcohol-free from what I can tell. Definitely high in silicones. So I would say that I definitely notice that when I'm putting on this foundation. As you put it on, it almost sort of sits on the skin and just takes a little bit just to mix in with your skin. It's relatively smoothing, I guess I would say, with the silicones in there, and relatively easy to apply. I find that the sand is not a perfect match for my NC25 skin. It's definitely on the more apricot-y side of shades. Works whether you want to use your fingers, a brush or a sponge. Certainly applies very nicely with a sponge and builds up okay. This is going to be an everyday foundation that gives you a medium coverage. It's not buildable to full, but it's a fairly natural finish, I would say. It does have somewhat of a fragrance to it. It's sort of a florally perfumed fragrance. I don't mind fragrance, but if you prefer products to not have any scent at all, then you would want to steer away from this one as well. I always use this one with a primer. I've mixed up different primers and I'm going to cut now just to show you what it looks like going on, how it lasts throughout the day, and I'll be back after that to share with you my final thoughts and recommendations. Starting off with the Maybelline Dream Smooth Primer. This is a very sort of solid gel silicone texture primer. Use about a pea-size amount and press that into the face. You don't want to do too much rubbing. Now I'm doing 2 pumps of the foundation because I am using the Miracle Complexion Sponge from Real Techniques. I use 1 pump if I'm applying with my fingers, but with a sponge, because of what product gets soaked up, 2 pumps is enough, and you can control how much of that 2 pumps you use at a time. So I'm applying 1 layer now in a stippling type motion. You can see all over the face, and that's going to provide a light to medium coverage. Blending down the neck, and now I am using what's left on the back of my hand to cover certain areas. So just those areas with hyperpigmentation
or acne scars. Now you can see the before, the one layer, and the extra spot coverage picture.
So now I've applied one layer of the foundation, and then I have also taken a second layer to build it up where I need it on areas of hyperpigmentation. And I would say that the coverage is pretty decent. The finish is most definitely matte, and it's somewhat smoothing, I would say. This is a decent color match for me, but looking at it, I do kind of feel like maybe it's because of the matte finish or maybe a slight color mismatch. I do feel like I can kind of, you know, see it sitting on my skin. So I really did take extra care with that sponge just to go back in and make sure that there wasn't foundation sitting in little fine lines or little bits that weren't blended. So that does take a little bit of extra care and attention. I'm hoping that by the time I've applied the rest of my makeup that it has kind of just, you know, melded in with my skin a little bit more. It just kind of, you know, I can see slight pigmentation underneath, and it's almost like I can just sort of see the foundation sitting on top, which is something I'm not a fan of. Other than that, pretty decent to apply. I would say sort of average or medium amount of work just to get it on, blend it in. I've got that silicone primer on underneath, so that is going to help with the smoothing. And that is pretty much it for now. So I will be back after I've applied the rest of my makeup to let you know how it's looking. Okay, so it's probably now half an hour after I've applied the Maybelline foundation. I've applied the rest of my makeup, of course, and I have applied a very light layer of the Australis Ready Set Go finishing powder. This powder is very lightweight. It's one of those silica type powders, and it will definitely help for the oil control. I find that this is quite an effective one from the drugstore, very affordable, that will help keep everything not only smooth but matte as well. So looking forward to sharing with you how this one lasts throughout the day. Before I do go, I will say that after half an hour, I feel like it does look less like it is sitting on top of my skin. So everything is looking quite smooth, quite finished, and it's looking quite nice. I'm quite pleased at this point. So we'll give it some time. I'll go about my day and I'll be back to let you know how it's worn. We're now at 8 hours wear of the new Maybelline Superstay Better Skin Flawless Finish foundation, and at the 8-hour mark I have worn it all day. It's a decent chance to be able to put this thing up and say, does it match its claims of all day wear? And I would say yes, absolutely. You can see for yourself I still have coverage from the product. My skin still looks fairly even, and it actually looks less matte than when I first applied it. This is another one of those foundations for me that actually gets better looking with longer wear. So when it first applies, for me, as you saw, it just kind of looks like it's sitting on top. Giving it a half an hour to an hour, things start looking better, and I did apply that light amount of powder at the start, but I have not touched up over the foundation, so you can see it is still there giving me coverage, but you can see that the finish is not quite as matte. My own natural oils have come through there. Probably 4 or 5 hours into it, my nose did start looking a little bit oilier, and I would have wanted to touch up. I would say probably pretty average there in terms of longevity. Definitely happy with the way that it looks, but you know, nothing terribly special. My skin looks pretty smooth. Again, some of that will be attributable to the Maybelline Smooth Primer. It does claim non-transfer, and I did have to blow my nose after applying this foundation before I applied the rest of my makeup, and the foundation did come off on the tissue. I did have to touch it up around my nose at the very start of the day, so I'm not sure if it is completely non-transfer. I'd be careful with that. So there you go. You see, while that foundation was going on, that it's a relatively natural finish. It's not overly matte, it's not overly dewy. The coverage is definitely medium. If you really want a full coverage foundation, this is definitely not the one for you. This is one if you like a relatively natural finish that's not too matte, not too dewy, medium coverage, and if you don't mind a bit of shine. I find that this looks overall okay at the end of the day if you do a little touch up once or twice throughout the day. I don't mind a touch up or two, but this one in particular is quite shiny regardless of what primer I use. I'm definitely shinier in the nose area with this foundation than other foundations. So I would say if you have oilier skin, this is not the best choice for you at the drugstore. I will include some links down below to other drugstore foundations that I have reviewed. I took quite a long time to do this review because I really couldn't tell if I liked this product or if I didn't like this product. So overall, my final verdict is that this is a ho-hum product. It's not fantastic, it's not terrible. I wouldn't necessarily recommend it therefore, because there are products in the drugstore that I really enjoy and that are just as affordable. So that's pretty much the bottom line with this foundation. So who's it for? I would say that this, as they say on the bottle, would be appropriate for those with normal skin. I think those of you with dry skin would probably prefer something a little bit more moisturizing, a little bit dewier. And I'd say for those of you with oily skin, this one is definitely not going to inhibit oils like you wish it would. So that's my verdict on the Better Skin. It's not fantastic, I wouldn't recommend it, but if you bought it, you know, it's okay. It's an okay foundation. That's about all I have to say about it. Let me know down below if you have any questions, as well as please do comment if you have tried it. Let us know what your thoughts were. I'd love to hear from you. I hope that you have a beautiful day and that you do not forget ever how gorgeous you are and how much you have to offer. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you again really soon.